evening sky over Lacatunga, the final stop before reaching Ecuador's capital, Quito. I will be there for Christmas and New Year's Eve, not moving the bike, giving it some rest, doing some maintenance work, and a cousin will join me for those days over there, so that should all be pretty good. Quito. Quito's a lot of the good stuff, I would say. It's high up in the Andes, so be ready to catch your breath. But it has so much to offer. After all, it's the first UNESCO World Heritage Site declared in 1978. It has a beautiful old town worth staying in. Then it has bike lanes, which is also not very common. So you can carefree ride through many parts of the city on your bicycle. Plenty of stuff to explore and see in this capital of Ecuador. For all the maintenance fans out there, it's now some 7,000 kilometers since the start in Chile, so it's time for a good service of the bike. It's gonna be the oil change, the air and oil filter change, and the tightening of screws and the chain. And I found a good workshop, a friendly workshop here in Quito, where I can do the work and then also discard the old oil afterwards. I was asked how I stay fit during this long journey, and while the motorbiking is good balancing and full body balancing, it only does so much. So I would love to have a global gym membership where you can just pop in a gym when you pass by and do some workout, but that's not the case. So I'll do the occasional push-ups, pull-ups whenever there's a metal bar, and go for a run.
Esquina, hay una mateguada, baja por la mateguada.
It's time to go off the beaten track to a farm called Osbrey on the shores of the Cauca River, the second most important river of Colombia, where this community lives with a few families, doing agriculture, some banana trees, plantation, and fishing. They really live with the seasons of this region, because the laguna is only navigable by boat during the wet seasons. And those wet seasons are great for fishing. The artisanal method, where the nets stay in the water for some 24 hours to then be retrieved. But the dry season is also quite excellent for them in terms of bird observations, because the lower water levels reveal the food in the sand and the shores. So plenty birds come to have their feast there.
en Colombia. Mira. Mira. Este es un trasmayo.
¿Ambos se puede comer?
Sí,
Sí.
claro. Este es un bocachico, estos son corronchos, cuchas.
¿Son truchas?
Cuchas.
Cuchas.
Also, the Osbrey farm is suffering from climate change and changing weather events. This year, we are in January, it rained nearly every day, they said. And the typical rain season is only from March to June. So the typical seasons are not really active anymore, as it can basically always rain heavily now. This also means that the river level is rising and falling heavily, prolonging usually the high waters, which can be good for some of the land and agriculture, but bad for certain plants such as the banana or the coffee. So they really feel the extent and the magnitude of those weather events.
¿Y todos los días vas para buscar los pescados o es...?
Es decir, cuando está buena la pesca voy a pescar y cuando está buena la arenada me pongo a arenear. Yo también saco material del río. ¿Ya? Entonces hago las dos funciones, donde esté mejor. Voy para allá.
¿Y qué se hace con el material del río? ¿Es para construcción de casas o de...?
Sí, de casas.
Ajá.
O pavimentos de carretera, de todo.
De todo. ¿Y de dónde viene esa contaminación del río?
Cali.
¿De Cali?
Sí, Cali.
Sí.
Cali, Jumbo, arriba las fábricas. Tirando los residuos y todo, los lavan la fábrica, la tiran al río. Se contamina.
¿Y no hay controles o no es suficiente control?
Pues han tratado de arreglarlo y sí lo han arreglado mucho, pero todavía hay contaminación. Sí, porque ya en Cali han hecho petares, almacenar el agua lluvia. Y las empresas también tienen ya petares, pero de todas maneras largan mucha contaminación.
Melena se llama.
Sí, melena.
And then, similar to Lake Titicaca, there were over 200 fishing families before, but now there are few left because there's not much point given the pollution and small amount of fish left in the river and the laguna.